Hi, welcome to the Cultural Barrier. My name's Bal.
And my name's Taj.
On this week's episode, we're going to keep it light, we're going to keep it bright. Hopefully, once the episode progresses, we might be crying. We don't know what we're doing by the end of the episode. But what we're going to talk about is oversharing. Do you overshare with your partner, your siblings, your friends, or do people overshare with you? So that's the question we're asking. So, Taj, oversharing, do you do it?
To be honest, I do it a lot. I can't help it. Even if I bump into someone, I kind of talk to them about everything and the conversation just gets really long. So I'm trying to check myself and trying to be like, keep this short, have a time limit.
So if you bump into Taj over from now onwards, you might notice that she will be saying hi, but she's walking while she's saying it. Is that what you're saying?
I'm going to try to do that. Try being the very important word in this sentence, because my kids are getting really annoyed. My husband's like, oh my God, every time I go out and I bump into someone, I just talk. And I can't, it's like a magnet. I can't get myself away from it.
But I think with you, I think you've changed in that respect because before you never used to be like that. Whereas now, I remember we went to an event a little about I think it was last year at some point, and we literally walked into the room, and you were off, you were gone, you were socializing. Obviously, it was in Swindon, so you live there, so you know everyone, and everyone knows you, which is a really nice thing anyway, because it's like, hey, I'm here for a party, man. I'll be talking to everybody. I'm here to, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because then I went and sat down.
You
Part
were a
of
bit boring at that event. Oh God, killjoy, man.
Right. But then I didn't even feel like talking to anyone. But obviously, not obviously, when I do go out, I do have a good time. It's just getting me out. I'm like,
I think with us, and I think this happens with my husband as well, when you talk, I don't. When I talk, you don't. It's like only one of us is allowed to have the stage.
do you think it's like Superman? You know, when like Clark Kent and Superman can't be in the same place, that kind of thing. But obviously, we are in the same place. And
Yeah, I think it's a bit like that, to be honest. Because I've found that with my husband as well. We'll go out together. Either he's doing all the talking and I just like sit there thinking, okay, I'm not going to bother now. Or vice versa, I'll do all the talking. And he's like, yeah, your night tonight, I suppose, to talk.
tag you in. Tag you in.
Yeah.
But then this is the thing, when you go out, like you do meet people wherever you go, right? Now that in the local area you know people, right?
But it's not just people that I know. For example, I went to the local Asda, which I hang out at a lot, not so much as I used to. And there was a lady picking bananas, and I just had a whole conversation about bananas.
What did you say to her about bananas?
And I was, okay, you're being a bit picky. And then she laughed and she goes, they're a bit ripe or something like that. We had a whole conversation about bananas. I don't know why I do it. And to the point, now I've got to a stage where I have to be like, don't talk to this person, don't talk to this person. And I have to say it in my head, so I don't talk to the person.
Do you have it where sometimes you're thinking, it happened to me this morning actually. So I was thinking about a conversation with you as I'm doing the kids ironing before they have to go to school, because I do it like that. And then Suk, my husband, said something. And I go, but to Jin, and obviously I was thinking about you at the time. I was like, and I realized as I'm getting older, right? Now we know I'm 40, right? I'm starting to do that a lot. Whatever's in my head tends to come out of my mouth and I'm like, I didn't mean to do that. Do you find that?
I do that anyway. Maybe it's a case of you don't have that filter in you. I don't know. Maybe you forget to keep it in.
Yeah, it's really bad. At some point, I'm like, why did I say that? Like, that was in my head. You didn't need to say it out loud. And it's happening more. Okay, but oversharing. So that's just generally talking to people. And I get it. Like, I am like that. If I bump into, I'm okay with having a conversation. Now I've become a bit more antisocial because I just can't be bothered. But that's not the right thing either. Oversharing. Do you say too much to your friends, or do your friends say too much to you?
I think even with yourself, talking about friends and my close friends and yourself, I think I tell them too much about my life, too much. And we've had a deep conversation about this. And then I have the expectation back that the other person will say everything about their life as well. And then when they don't and I find out something, it could be the smallest thing. I'm like, oh, okay, she didn't tell me.
I found that with you, with something with me. I think I'd bought a knife or something stupid like that. And you were like, you didn't tell me, boy. I'm like, Okay, like,
I
and
mean, okay, that's just a random little thing. I think bigger things, like if you're going to go on holiday or something like that with friends or something like that, and we haven't discussed it, and it's like, okay, she didn't discuss it. But now I'm coming to a point where I've realised it's okay. I'm not going to discuss it. You've got your life. I've got my life. It is what it is, kind of thing. So I'm coming, but again, it's a conscious thing that I have to do, where I have to think, okay, I don't need to know everything about the other person's life. They don't need to know everything about my life.
but the thing is, it's a case of, again, with energy and where we put stuff, right? Like, how much, like, sometimes there's been conversations where you're like, oh, you didn't tell me. I'm like, oh, okay, it just wasn't important enough. I mean, obviously I wasn't thinking about it because it didn't come straight out of my mouth, right? Where certain conversations just don't matter anymore. So it's like, that's why it hasn't been mentioned. But oversharing, so certain topics I've realized, no matter who you're talking to, they can be off the sort of, what did they say, off the table. You're not supposed to talk about it. I
Like
don't know,
stuff.
intimate stuff. Sometimes okay, right. So I crack jokes with my friends like that, but I have noticed, and I get it. Like, I might crack a joke, and there's a bit of conversation where I might say something or whatever, right? And it is an intimate conversation. But I've noticed friends don't say, "Oh, by the way," like I have noticed that, and that's fine. I think that's a bit of a cultural, social thing. I mean, certain things you shouldn't be saying out loud; it should stay in your head. But I have a laugh with it. I don't know, like, should I
I,
stop?
I don't think that you should stop, because that's your personality and that makes you you. Whereas I think I wouldn't share anything intimate just because I'm a prune.
Mm. Yeah, but then,
Stages of life as well. Whereas younger, I would have cracked really inappropriate jokes, but now I just don't do that because I don't feel like it and I don't want to.
so do you think I'm a lot younger than you? So I'm like, I can crack those
What
jokes.
is it with always age and going back? Look, you're 40. Get over it.
Okay, fine. So this morning, right? The other thing is, at what point in your relationship should you be sharing more? Now, what am I talking about? Whether you fart, whether you leave the door open to the bathroom, all that sort of stuff, whether you burp,
Yeah.
right? What's your thought on that?
Okay, so when I first got married, which is going to be 16 years, it's going to be this week actually.
Oh my
And
God, is it this week?
yeah, it's coming up.
Is,
And
is it tomorrow?
no, it's on the 14th. Anyway,
Okay.
so no farting, no burping, nothing. Like, I didn't do that in front of anyone, not even my siblings, my parents, no one. But as I've got older, things
Yeah.
and health conditions have come along. So I don't care anymore. It's better out than in.
Well, yeah, they do say that.
Only at home, not
Yeah.
outside. There's some.
So not in front of your friends and stuff like
No,
that.
no, not in front of my friends.
Okay. So when
If
I
it's by accident, then it can be helped. But no, not in front of people outside.
Okay, so when I first got married, right, living with the in-laws and stuff like that, it was really funny because the dinner time conversation used to always go back to going to the toilet. I don't know why.
I think this is an Asian thing, talking about your bowel habits.
Is it? Do you think it is?
Yeah.
Is that normal? Because then I remember there was a few conversations where, like, someone would be like, "Why do you always need to bring up you going to the toilet?" I'm like, "I never realised I do that," and it's true.
But we do that at home because some people are constipated and this, and then you give each other advice of have prune juice or have
Bit of basil and Barney and that sort of stuff.
yeah, that kind of thing. So I think bowel issues is a common thing that you can talk about it. But I don't agree. Like my husband, I don't like this. So when I'm on the toilet, we don't lock our doors in our house when we're at home.
Yeah.
So if the door's shut, it means that it's shut and
Right.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Whereas before it wouldn't have mattered because the kids were younger, so everyone used to open shut door, open door. It didn't matter. But as the kids get older, now it's door shut, meaning that you don't come in. But he comes into when I go on the toilet. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It just takes the romance. I don't know. It just takes the romance away from everything.
But it's like burping. I didn't like people burping. I think that was just like, but okay. So I think the turning point was giving birth. I genuinely think that was my turning point because when you're pregnant, you have a bit of bloating. You fart a bit, right? And you're pregnant, so you should be allowed to do whatever you want. I mean, you're growing a human being inside of you. It should be fair that you fart out loud. I mean, come on, man. You don't have to deal with much. I'm dealing with it, right? But then when the labor happened, all you want is that baby out, right? You're like, I don't care who comes in. I remember when one of the consultants was like, "Oh, do you mind if we've got like 10 students come in? I know we've discussed this before. Do you mind?" I'm like, "No, bring them all in. Get this baby out. I couldn't care less who comes in." But because your husband's there, right? And whoever else is there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're seeing everything, and you're in your, people might be like, "Oh no, you're giving birth, so it's like, the best time." I mean, personally, I don't think so. I look like shit. I've got a human coming out of my vagina, and I'm like, it was awful. I'm pretty sure I pooped whilst I was thinking. I don't know, right? I can't remember what happened. But the point is, by then, I feel like he'd seen everything. Like there was nothing left. Like my dignity is now gone. I've got nothing. And that's when I thought, so on that, I know we're going to come back to, you giving birth with dignity and all that sort of stuff. I agree. We can come back to that. But does it matter if I fart then afterwards? Because I mean, you're seeing everything. That was when my turning point was, I reckon.
I've got a couple of things to say on this. First of all, like giving birth. So I had C-sections. So I had every Tom, Dick, and Harry of the nurses, the consultants coming in, looking down there. And at that time, I just didn't think about it. It was just, there was no like, oh my God, that's my private area, my vagina. Oh, we should say the actual words for it.
Yeah.
I just didn't think like that. It was like, this is a medical procedure that's going to happen. It needs to happen. So there was no overthinking. It was like, how are they going to get it out? Because it was an emergency C-section.
Right.
It was like, I don't care. I remember you had to, it was really funny because I phone you about everything. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to have a natural birth. And you're like, oh, that's brilliant. And then I'm like, oh,
actually, oh, that's brilliant. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, they're going to give me a C-section. You're like, oh God, that
was it all part of the same conversation? Oh my God, they've changed your mind. They're doing a C-section.
It was funny because whatever you said, I was like, yeah, that's brilliant. Then you were like, oh no, and I was like, oh no, they're going to give me emergency C-section. You're like, that's even better.
I talk so much shit.
It's at that point, I needed someone to say it's fine.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, she's right. It's better than I'm doing it this way, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Better than having a natural sort of thing. It was just whatever you said to me, I was like, yeah, this is right. She's right.
But my whole concept was, as long as the baby comes out, like, it could come out of your mouth. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. I mean, I hadn't had kids myself at that point, so I didn't know what a C-section actually was. But
I didn't think about that at that point. It was just the baby sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so in that circumstance, I didn't think who's going out. But obviously you want it, the dignity needs to be there. You don't want to be like legs open, the whole world coming. You knew they were coming in because they were trying to help you to get that baby out.
Yeah.
Right. So in that circumstance, yes, because my husband saw my waters broke. I went to the toilet in front of him. Yeah, I went to the toilet in front of him. So that didn't matter. You're right. But then afterwards you forget about that. Just like COVID.
Yeah.
You went through that. Everyone's forgotten about it and we're not all living relaxed lives. You just forget about it. In life, you forget about things. So that toilet thing when I was giving birth didn't matter because he's forgotten about it. And now I don't want him to see me go to the toilet.
No, but the whole thing of what I meant by that is there were certain barriers, certain things you'd stop at. And then I felt like for me at that point, because everything was done, like I don't mind, he doesn't like it when I fart in front of him. And to be fair, I don't do it that often, although it happened this morning. And it was just like, but sometimes, your body changes. I don't care, right? But I think there is barriers that are broken with, and in a good way, because you're going through this new experience for both of you. But a childbirth, I think that was a massive
childbirth. I thought we were farting.
No, it's a massive thing, but I think that takes away a lot of the barriers of what you're going through. By the way, I told you we're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it bright. I mean, surely there's nothing lighter and brighter. I mean, on Apprentice they were talking about poos as well. I'm like, it wasn't a good product that they produced, but
don't tell me because we're not yet there yet with The Apprentice. Anyway,
it was weeks ago. But okay, anyway, fine. So with our partners, I feel like obviously you can share pretty much. Can you share everything with your partner?
What's everything? Because as an Asian woman, we're always told to always keep a bit of money to the side just
yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
That is the given advice to Asian women. I don't know if it happens anymore. I think it does. Like always have a bank account that you've got a bit of money that your partner doesn't know about. He does know about it now. But
see, I'm the opposite in that way. He knows everything. If anything, I don't know everything about him, which I am questioning.
tell our parents that you never followed their advice.
I don't remember them giving us that advice, to be fair.
Well, obviously you didn't listen because it was given a lot.
I don't remember that. But okay, fine. So, okay, financials. So, yeah, hide a bit of the financials. That's fine.
Rainy day.
Rainy
Not
days.
being negative, but life has rainy days. I'm not saying it's going to happen that you're going to break up, but you might want to buy yourself something nice. The whole world, your partner doesn't need to know.
Actually, on that point, there was one time. So I tend to spend my own money, whatever, right? There was one time I went out with my friends and I was planning not to buy anything. And it wasn't even, now I can't even remember how much the trainers were. Like, I can't remember because I said this to my friends, but there was quite a while where I didn't tell my husband for some reason. Anyway,
They were expensive, I remember you telling me.
But I don't think they were crazy expensive, but they were more expensive than what I usually buy.
Yeah, that's what
I think that's what it was. And it didn't even matter. And I was talking to my friends about this. They're like, who cares sort of thing. And I get it. But I did like leave him in the box for a little while.
Because you were scared of what he was going to say?
I don't know.
He spent quite a lot of money anyway, so he wouldn't have cared.
It didn't matter. But in my head, it mattered. So I don't know. And I know my friends do this as well. If they buy something, some of them, sometimes they do have to, give it a bit of time, let it simmer in, and then they'll tell their partner. And, they're spending their own money. It's just the general concept of, not in a controlling way, it's just in a, needs no basis sort of thing sometimes.
So you wait till he's in a good mood to say.
In a good mood. And then you're like, I spent £1,000 on a chocolate. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Okay, so going back to the question, is there anything that you wouldn't share with your partner? So we've discovered finance. Yeah. Sometimes if you overspend.
Yeah, like your own family stuff. I don't think your partner needs to know everything that's going on in your side of the family, because sometimes there are family secrets. And I say this to my husband as well. I go, look, go away, see your mum. You need to have that time where you've got your secret stuff going on about your family. There is, no matter, even if he says, no, there isn't. I know there is. And that's fine, because everyone's got their little secrets that they need to tell. It might just be their relationship, that, mother-son relationship, whatever they want to talk about. That's fine. I don't need to know. I don't need to know if there's, for example, divorces happening in their family, in my family. Like what they.
Do you think that's an issue? Because it's a case of, well, actually, if it's a family thing, like you're part of that family now. So do you think that you should be part of that conversation then?
I mean,
you think it leaves out the daughter-in-law if that doesn't happen?
I mean, I think you don't have to know, but it would be nice to know if someone's divorced in the family. But you don't need to know the nitty-gritty of why it happened, like the deep nitty-gritty stuff.
Okay. Fine.
Just so you don't step in it and say, hey, how's your husband doing? But they're broken up. So that kind of thing.
Which you've kind of done before. Did you do that?
That wasn't with a family member. That was just someone that I met outside. It wasn't anything malicious. It was just like small talk. I need to learn what is small talk and what is big talk. I think that is the thing.
Small talk isn't how's your marriage. That's pretty deep stuff.
No, I didn't say how's your marriage. I just said, oh, how long have you been married? I haven't seen you for a while. So it wasn't like, oh my God, I've heard you divorced. It wasn't that. It was just like, hi, I haven't seen you for ages. Just about recognizing.
What else do you talk about, right?
Yeah, because isn't that small talk?
I don't know.
Yeah, it made you think.
Well, no, I'm just thinking. So if you go into a social circle where perhaps someone's surface level, it's like, oh, how are you? What do you do for? That is true, actually, because there have been circumstances. I'm like, because what do you talk to people about? You're just like, you're right. Like, how's your family? Keep
I
it
mean,
general.
we
I've got an answer. I've got an answer. Instead of saying how's like whatever your marriage thing, how's your family? Because that could be about your the person's parents, the kids, blah blah blah. Keeps it general. And then a little while ago, this happened a few times actually over the last few weeks, where I meet someone, I'm like, oh, what do you do for a living? And then in my head, I'm like, should I be asking that question? Because
they
like
might.
if they don't work, I don't want them to
No,
feel
then
like.
why do you ask the person? Because there was a circumstance where you and me were having a conversation with someone, and we said, "How is your like wife or whatever?" And like, not with her anymore. How are your parents? Oh, I don't get on with them. And they're like, how's the weather?
But maybe that's the reason the weather conversation is there. I was reading actually. I got one actually. So last week I'm subscribed to The Economist, right? And yeah, and there was something. It was actually really funny. So it's basically how you open up an email, right? A work email. It was a really good thing. So whoever wrote that, it really did make me laugh.
Okay,
So
tell me.
I do the same thing. So the start of the sentence is hello, whoever, how are you? That's my starting sentence. How are you? And it was talking about sentences like that. That means, how are you? And it sort of narrated it of, I don't care how you are. I just need an opening sentence. Don't go into how you are. That kind of thing. And it did loads of different things like that. Or I've had, sorry to bother you on the weekend. It was a case, and that was narrated to, I don't know my boundaries between work and life balance, and I'm going to encroach on yours, that kind of thing. It was such a funny article. But
Sounds
yeah,
yeah
where were we in this conversation? I've forgotten.
about
What do you talk to people about?
more talk.
Yeah, small talk.
Like sometimes, like you know, when you generally ask, "Oh, how are you doing?" Sometimes I feel like actually going. You know, when someone says, "Oh, are you okay?" I feel like really going into it and I'm going to do this one day. No, I'm not okay.
But this is the point.
Wait, someone done that to me. So I bumped into someone at the shop, and I go, "Oh, how are you doing?" And straight, I haven't seen this person for ages.
I was there.
Oh yeah, you were there. Yeah, yeah.
I was there.
I
And
don't
I'm
know.
like,
I don't know this person very well. Like I've just seen this person in work settings a couple of times, not even that many times. And she said, "Oh, not too good. Someone dropped dead." And I'm like, "Shit, shit, that's heavy."
and I was like, I'm going to carry on shopping.
And you did. Like,
uh,
now, obviously, she was really okay. So I thought, okay, so she's really affected by it. So I did have the conversation. Then there was another thing like, "Oh, my health isn't that good," and I was like, "Shit, man, this is heavy."
yeah.
I just had to buy, I don't know, what, a keyring or something. It was a really heavy conversation.
But this is what I'm saying about that sort of article. It proper made me laugh because it's like I'm saying, "How are you?" And then if someone starts going into their life story, it's like the icebreaker.
Yeah,
It is that small talk. But the question then is, sorry, then the question is, like, what else do you talk about? Because if someone does get into it being quite heavy,
yeah.
like, what do you do with that? You're quite good. Like, I think I'm quite good, or I'm putting myself down. But obviously, I'll get the sort of gist and start going into that conversation. So then you just go with the conversation. But obviously, in that circumstance, it was just going to be a high buy thing. So it's just like, how much time do you have? Like, would you risk?
It wasn't even the time. It was just like, I didn't know this person at all. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't support someone. It obviously needed support, but it was heavy. And
Yeah.
it wasn't one heavy. There was like three heavies in that. Hello, how are you doing?
Okay. So the next thing is, and we had this conversation a little while ago. Of I'm finding that because time is very limited now. I'm 40. There's certain conversations and certain circumstances now that sometimes I don't want to engage in because, like, I am being a bit antisocial now. I spend a lot of time at home. I like my quiet time, right? And if there's too much noise, it does overstimulate me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Hold on. And if I'm going to use my time where it is overstimulation, I just want to kind of have fun now because, like, life is very heavy for everybody, right? And friends, family, that's what we're there for, to support each other. I get it. But sometimes how do you be like, I don't want anything heavy today? Same from that conversation. Like, what do you do to, like, say, and I know it sounds really selfish. If someone's going through something, that's fine. Like, we all need support.
But you need to look after your own mental health first as well. Like the aeroplane thing, what do they say? Put your own mask on before you put someone else's on. Let your
Then
child.
how do you then? do that without looking like a proper bitch?
Um,
Or do you just have to just go with it because you're there for everybody, which is fair as well?
I think, yeah, you can't go in there just thinking, oh, I hope this person doesn't go heavy. I think you just carry on the way you are, and you kind of need to gauge the situation. If it's too heavy for you, be like, I hope, you know, do you need some support? I know this service supports it. Signposting even.
Yeah, but yeah. See, this is what I was thinking of. Actually, I might sort of sit back, and I'm turning into one of those people that just stays at home all the time, which is a problem. So,
But to be understand, to be like talking about, that quiet thing. Now I get it, because I remember when we lived with my mother-in-law. It was just me and my husband first of
actually,
all.
a party animal.
No, but it was fairly quiet in the house. I think I was the loudest person there. And basically, we went away, lived in Norway, came back, and we had kids, and we were loud. I mean, I used to wake up the kids like screaming. I
Yeah,
think at that point she was like, she wanted us to move out basically. And now I get why,
yeah,
because obviously she's a very person that likes to meditate, likes to be around quiet. And I get it, because now I don't like being in loud situations. When
yeah.
I'm in something that's really noisy, I just need to get out.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
Okay,
it's not taking it at a tangent, but yeah.
okay. So let's go back to oversharing. So partners, you share pretty much everything. You leave the bathroom door open. No finance. Not too much family stuff if you can avoid it. Why don't you talk about family stuff? So
Because
they
you don't
can't throw it in their face.
know when you're going to have a fight,
Yeah,
because you're going to have one, unless you are saints. There's always something to throw back.
yeah. So
And
throwing it.
when it gets something about yourself is okay, but then if it goes digs into the family, that hurts deeper. So you don't
Yeah.
want that. So it's like point scoring.
So on that point, and I wasn't going to say this, I recorded a podcast with mum and dad. This was last year, and I was really keen on putting it out. And even when we started the new podcast, I was like, yeah, I'm going to put it out because it talks about their history. I was really interested in it. I've been meaning to do it for a long time. But when there was a bit of backlash in regards to something I said, I'm like, do you know what? I'm not even doing that because it's different with me. But if it's with my family, then I don't think so. So I decided not to put that podcast out, which is a real shame because I think that was a learning. I learned so much from those because it was not only their history, but their state of mind of going from a different country to coming here, how they brought up the family, how they made the foundations we've got. But I wasn't willing to share that because I'm not going to take scrutiny of my parents, for example.
Yeah,
Yeah, fair
we had
enough.
a whole conversation about this, because we were like, yeah, it would be good to put out, but if someone said something about my mum and dad, I wouldn't be able to handle it. With, yeah, that backlash that we got from one of our posts or whatever. It's like, okay, water off a duck back. You're going to get good with the bad,
Yeah.
bad good. But for that to be someone that you care about, not that I don't care about you,
Yeah.
but for someone that I care about more,
Yeah.
I won't be able to handle that. Hence the thing of not oversharing with your partner, to when you have the little
Fights,
fight.
yeah. Okay, so on that point, let's carry on down that route of oversharing on social media because this world is all about I
Yeah, I
I
don't.
sneezed. I'm going to take a video of me sneezing and then I'm going to put it out.
So I mean, we're oversharing, to be honest, because we're doing
Yeah,
a podcast. But then I think there's a limit to how much I would share. If I was crying, I wouldn't put. And whoever wants it, that's up to them. But I personally wouldn't do that, because
oh,
one,
why?
I'm not saying it's weakness for someone to cry. It takes strength for
Yeah,
someone to show that they're emotional. But for me, I don't like people seeing me when I'm down. I like to cut off from the world. I don't like to give bad energy.
energy. Yeah,
So when I'm not feeling well, like on the weekend, oh my God, I was about to not die literally, but my gums, everything were really hurting. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't talk to you. I didn't talk
well,
to
I
my.
thought you were. I literally had to phone your husband to say like what's going on. Like mum and dad phoned her. I'm like I don't know where she is.
I didn't want to talk to anyone. When I get to a state when I'm not feeling well, I don't like talking to anyone.
Yeah,
Even my husband, he'll say, "Are you okay?" Yeah, and then he'll just go. As long as he asks me, I still want him to ask if I'm okay.
yeah,
And I did appreciate him being really nice and cooking and cleaning, which he never does, and I'm loving it.
yeah.
But I don't want people to see me in that state of not being well.
So, what do you think about people that do overshare on social media about their emotions? Because it is helpful to raise awareness. You're right. The fact that we're doing this podcast, we are oversharing our thoughts, our lives, the photos that we're doing, and this is something that is quite personal. It's very personal. If someone says anything about anything that's about our personal life, it is, quite harsh.
I think, again, each to their own. I don't want to share the crying thing and me being in a low mood with
But
any.
you're okay to share your laughing.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe because I want the world to have that positive energy from me.
Except we're talking about very deep topics, which over the last few weeks and the next few weeks, we've got very.
But I'm not. I'm not. We're just sharing our views, but we're not saying. Oh, yeah, you're right in that sense. But I'm not. How do I say it? I'm not making negativity. You're spreading awareness.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And if other people want to do it where they think that they want to talk about how bad their life is, that's awareness as well. And if
Yeah.
that works for them, that's up to them.
Hmm.
I can't judge them, but I wouldn't do at the moment. I might do it tomorrow. At the moment, I don't feel comfortable crying and doing a video on social
Okay.
media because I like to cry by myself.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. All right. So, when social media first came out, when Big Brother first came out, it was a social experiment. So the first set of people that went into Big Brother, for example,
It was
we
fun.
didn't. Yeah, it was interesting to see how humans react in certain situations and be that sort of, what is it, the eye on the wall or whatever they say, right? That whole 1984 book, the novel by, is it Eliot? It was a book, right? But the whole thing is the whole Big Brother, is
Yeah.
that whole Big Brother eye on the wall sort of thing, right? But then as social media carried on, and the same thing with social media, people taking photos of themselves. This is what I'm doing. I'm picking my nose. I'm like, this is what I'm putting on social media, that kind of thing. And it was raw, it was real. But then as social media has developed and as Big Brother developed, it became a lie because people faked what they were doing. They were on private jets when they were actually sitting in economy and that kind of thing. And it became a show.
Because at that point you realize you could make a career out of it. So then it changed from
Mm,
showing your raw emotions to we need to build this up. You might get a job after this.
yeah.
That's where the pivotal point of change. But we still do as humans. I know I do. I watch a lot of Housewives. I know it's sad, but I
Oh
don't.
my God. So I've started. Sorry, go on. You carry on. I tell
So
you.
I like watching a lot of that. Okay, I'm sad. I don't watch Kardashians that much anymore because whatever.
Yeah.
I do like watching what they called reality TV shows,
Yeah.
just because I pretend that one day I could be living that reality.
Right.
Because yeah, you just want to see how the other half live.
Okay, so this was the thing. We laugh at the Kardashians, but they made serious money out of that whole reality show, right?
Yeah,
And again, their lives on there weren't real. I mean, who does some of that stuff? Like most of us are just sitting around doing nothing. Obviously, they work a lot harder than most of us. Fair play to them. But the whole thing was that generation. And it's the same thing with the social media. We started off going, and by the way, I didn't even know we were going to go down this route of talking about this, of going down, you know, raw emotions and things like that, then it became a career. I think you're right about that. But Kardashians was right at the forefront of, when Paris Hilton and
yeah, she's the one that started it off. Paris Hilton. Yeah,
Nicole Richie,
yeah.
they did that. What was it
I
called?
watched that a lot. Yeah, something about them going to people's houses and see. Yeah, that
And
was
seeing how poor people, normal people, live and work, right? So that was the thing at that point, but they still hadn't hit the same market that the Kardashians had hit, which was interesting. But it's the way that the Kardashians hit it. I mean, with the fact that Kim Kardashian put that tape out, that's what started it off for her. So you need to make an impact before people are like, I'll carry on watching your journey. And you need to make that journey interesting.
Are you going to put a tape out then?
That is oversharing. So we won't do that.
Okay. Are there particular
I'll
types?
definitely get backlash about it.
Are there particular types of people that don't mind oversharing? Because I suppose you have to be. Again, we keep talking about Kardashians, but they don't mind oversharing, whereas we're more reserved, and we would get backlash, and we're not brought up to overshare that much.
I mean, it's a business though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, but no. So say we wanted to go down that line, our parents would kill us.
oh yeah, oh my god, yeah.
So is it like, whereas that Kardashian family,
But
they,
our family, hold on, mum and dad don't kill us for the fact that we do podcasts, partly because they don't understand the whole concept of it and what
yeah,
we're
but if we stripped down naked, then they would.
have a problem. Oh my god, yeah. I mean, even if we put that out on marketing, just that bit of what you've said, oh my god, do you know the backlash we'd get just from saying that? That's how funny it is.
I
But
just
you
went,
say that, hold on. There's been festivals that are going on in India, right? And I don't know if you've seen it, but I saw it last week, and they're religious festivals, and that's fine. They do. We won't talk about the actual festivals, but some of the behavior, I don't know if it's a cultural thing or whether they're supposed to. I don't know. I didn't look into it. But you're like, I'm pretty sure if their parents saw that, they would not be impressed. Not that that should be the first thing, obviously. Like, I'll send you the video later. I was shocked. So the world is changing. How much is acceptable?
oh, do you remember when we went out for lunch and there was naked bike ride and
Oh
everyone
my god, yeah.
was naked, everything was showing. But then when we saw loads of them, it's like, oh, okay, cool, they're naked. I mean, I didn't want to look, but I looked. But I
But
didn't want to look, but I looked. And then after you saw about 50, you were like, oh, okay, cool.
but then that sort of normalize it, and this is the thing: oversharing. If you do overshare, it sort of normalizes it as well. And is that a good thing? I don't know if that's a good thing. I mean, obviously,
It's what it is.
yeah. So with our running group, someone did put out, oh, there's a run that's going on. I think it was in Southeast or something like that. Do you want to go? And it was the same sort of thing. And it's just like you're running. I'm pretty sure I would not want to be doing that run.
Oh,
I
naked.
mean, yeah, it's like that is way too much oversharing.
I was going to,
But anyway, that's fine, right? So where are we on the scale of sharing but not oversharing?
but
Like,
that's us. And it's okay if someone else wants to do it in a different way. Who are we to judge?
yeah, fine. I'll take that on board. By the way, I have just started watching, and I promised myself from last year I wouldn't do it. I accidentally put on Married at First Sight, the Australia version. Oh my god, why did I put it on? This
It's
is
just like,
this is.
rubbish.
Do you know what? This is the oversharing. It's just like you say that, but Sook sat down and watched it as well. So that's me oversharing his life. But it's just like, come on, why would you get married on TV? Again, celebrity status. They're not going there for a marriage.
But this is about careers that you can build up from what you do on social. Like, even with our children, we're like, okay, like for example, my daughter's doing, what's she doing? DOV, whatever. Duke of
Edinburgh. Yeah.
Duke of Edinburgh, sorry. And one of the things that she wants to learn is podcasting. So I'm teaching her about a particular genre of social media. Maybe she could use that as her career.
Well, it's a
So
marketing ploy, isn't it?
it's a different way of doing things. Life changes, you have to change with it.
Yeah. So on that point, it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Wait, hold on. Before we do the goodbyes, we don't really have a conclusion to this.
Oh,
What's our
God.
conclusion? I'm not going to cut that out because I just realised, hold on, we've just left it in the middle of after you've said your daughter thing. We don't have a conclusion. The
I,
conclusion is everyone's got their own amount that they share, overshare with different parts of society, as long as you're not harming anyone, as always. That is the main theme of this. You're okay, they're okay, then the world is okay. Peace. And on that point, it's goodbye from me.
and goodbye from me.